Yo, 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 yes, yes, y'all. It's your boy Cam Legend. Hope all is well. The favorite part of my day is taking a break in the office and just spending some time in nature. And it's almost on cue now that I bring my phone out every time I do, because I like to connect with others. I feel like I'm in a vibration that is more in sync when I'm outside in nature to give knowledge on the videos I speak about, But ultimately, I've just got the AC installed in my office now, so I'm going to be doing more production in there. And I can't wait because I've got a lot of information to give out on the stuff I speak about. But ultimately, I think you still understand the stuff I speak about when I'm in nature, and you can bring out Google or any search engine to do some research on the things I speak about. Because nature, what we see as nature is the ultimate technology. And believe it or not, a lot of the modern technology we see today has been reverse engineered through the study of nature. Like I said, an iPhone has a battery. A battery needs lithium. We get lithium from Congo in the ground. They mine to get natural elements to create the technology we make today. Antennas, telecommunications, they use copper to conduct electricity. We need copper in our diet. You see, we have the ability to actually light up a bulb with the amount of electricity we current. That's why if you was to put a fork in a socket, you get electrocuted. Everything is ultimately electromagnetism. Yes, a plant is not necessarily gonna light up a bulb, but it doesn't mean it doesn't have conductivity. It's like a semiconductor, because sun gives light to the plants. This is why, look, if you look at a plant, right, it's green, but it's also tainting yellow. This is to do with chlorophyll. And within the word chlorophyll, you see two letters, PH. Anytime you see PH in any language or any word that we use in English especially, is alluding to phosphorus. And phosphorus is alluding to light. Phosphorus is another name for Venus. Another name for Venus is Lucifer. And Venus, as we know, creates the torsion field of man and woman. If you was to open an apple, you see that it has the 5-point star. We are also the 5-point star. Arm, leg, arm, head, Allah. We are Allah in the flesh. Okay? So this field is within everything. All is atom. Shout out to Santos Bonacci. We literally are just microcosms of everything in existence. So there's a sacred science that is being relayed over and over again. That's why we can create technology, because there's a sacred science, and if you follow that blueprint, you can recreate, you can procreate, you see? So when we look at technology now and antenna fields and radio and the words they use like tune, like you have to tune your radio to a certain frequency. but people don't understand the words we use when it comes to technology. We also speak about frequency, vibration, when we start talking about things alluded to spirituality. Oh, or even just in layman terms, like, oh, I don't vibe with that guy, or I don't vibe with that person because they're on this, they're on that. So everything is alluding to sound, energy, frequency, vibration, resonance. Earth has a resonance of 7.83 hertz. Because the ground, as we see, looks very physical. But if you was to get a microscope and zoom into the actual ground, you'll see that it's all electromagnetic particles. This is important because secrets of the shaman knows that when you take certain altering drugs, you see past the illusion. But before they got to that point, I always reiterate, they had to study nature. So you can literally connect with a plant. You can hug a plant, you could touch a plant and receive information. Because a lot of these plants, you know, they can live as long as hundreds of years. And right now you can see the sun. It's about sunset now. The sun is actually sending light codes to the trees, the plants. And within the sun, there is information. This is why your chakras, which is the color of the rainbow, the pH scale, phosphorus, photons means light, has information. So this is how you can get smart, because the shaman has the ability to access information directly from source. And they do this by going on these journeys in the astral world. But they do this through visions or through dreaming, lucid dreaming. But the lucid astral world is very chaotic. That's why a lot of the dreams that people have nowadays is very chaotic. And it's only unless you get like a dream book or Google, what does this dream mean? And what's the symbolism to seeing two crows? Or what's the symbolism to me fighting with my mom and dad? Or what's the symbolism of me falling down the stairs? Because it's hard to decode, but the shaman within the chaos has the ability to decode what this meant, what that meant. And that's the difference between an average person and a shaman. But you have to understand, in order to access information as an initiate, as somebody getting themselves accustomed to the spiritual world as an adept, you have to work with the ground first. You have to work with the earthly elements first to actually get one with. Then the more you get one with the earth elements, earth, air, fire, water, the more you get familiar with nature, the more you become higher in degrees. So when you do go into the astral world to access information, there's more clarity. You feel me? So keep on practicing. You need to get out in nature. Because a lot of the information I got, a lot of the intuition, etymology, breaking down these words, it just comes like a flash. Because I'm accessing information from the ground. And the higher spiritual enlightened beings are also grounded. So when I'm grounding all the way in Thailand to access information, I'm only just accessing information from shamans in South America, from shamans and yogis in India, from shamans and highly spiritual beings all around the world. It doesn't even have to be a shaman. It can be just somebody on the same path as me or the same frequency as me. So I just access information from the ground. That's how psychic abilities work and all of that. You're just really just being a medium, you know? And then you just keep on ranking up higher in degrees after time and time again of practicing your craft, you know? So I get information very easy. Obviously, Thailand is about, where I'm at, is about 7 degrees above the 0 point equator. So in terms of me accessing information, I'm literally on the middle of the earth. You see, because everything's based on degrees and ley lines. So accessing information is very easy for me. I get it straight from the source. Whereas if you're in, like where I'm originally from, London, that's on the top of the meridian grid. That's why everything is based upon GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. So every ley line is actually going through London. So that's why there's a lot of negativity and conformation in London. Because if the whole world is depressed, you're going to feel it even more in London because every ley line goes through London. You see? You can learn this through astrocartography. If you was to open an astro theme, it will show you the ley lines and you'll see how energy actually works, because energy always goes up like a peak and it goes down like a trough. Every 3 days, it goes up and down. So you know how they say Wednesday is hump day? That's alluding to the fact that the energy after 3 days has to go back down like a camel. So that's why they call Wednesday hump day. They're not going to tell you that, of course. But if you're studying the way I study, you'll know exactly what they mean as hump day. Energy is like a sine wave. It goes up and down. You see? Look at this network system. Are you looking at the formation of it? It's literally a pyramid. It's a triangle. Within the triangle, they have these crosses going diagonal to each other to keep the energy flowing. And if you was to look at this as well, you see that it's got two stools at the bottom like our feet. And it looks almost like the pentagram. And actually when you see the grid at the top, that's like your arms spread across. Just Google search Virtua, what's the name for the, but you know the one that Leonardo da Vinci drew, Virtuous Man, of the man standing out like this, the very iconic picture of man. That is how these grids are made, based upon the 5-point star. So they reverse engineered everything. Your pineal gland is an electromagnetic receiver. So if you're in certain energy fields, it's hard for your pineal gland to receive information. You know, so you have to go out in nature, decalcify, so that your pineal gland can receive information with more clarity. Obviously, you need to stay off the fluoride in your toothpaste, all these kind of things. These are the kind of things you can do to decalcify. So yeah, like, get one with nature. Everything is a reverse technology of nature. There's real studies now that we have what we call fault fields. We have Airfields. And thought fields is an energy that can be corrupted, you see? But I'm gonna do a presentation on that. Ultimately, we can transmit energy through the ground. And that's what the shamans and the ancient tribes were doing was, if there was another tribe a few miles down, they'll access information from the ground and communicate to each other through working with frequency and resonance. And then we started to introduce instruments. And when you play with these instruments, like the drum will actually vibrate and spread through miles, distance. And it's like an echo, because everything is just sound. So sound has the ability to ripple. That's what we call the ripple effect. And the further it goes out, the more it vibes at. That's how animals communicate with each other as well, So everything is in harmony. Even the birds you can hear in the background, they are emitting sound at a higher frequency, maybe about 1,000, 2,000 up. But that's in harmony for nature, So everything in nature plays its purpose. Because you would think the bird's hissing is quite a high frequency. Why is it not annoying? Well, it's balancing the sound around the environment, because it's more of an open field. But if you was to be in a house with a bird hissing, it'll be irritating after a while, because you're in a box, you're in a square, and that sound will just keep on relaying and bouncing off the walls, So I hope you're understanding what I'm saying here. I'm just, come on, I'm out here. I'm just vibing and just getting out the information, because it's critical times right now. So I need to just let this information come out on these domains so you can understand it before I start getting into the presentations. But ultimately, we have the ability to communicate with these elements. That's why crystals work, because crystals are more dense, they're more physical, you see? So they have the ability to hold information. That's why you must clean your crystals when you get them for the first time. Then you need to program them and consecrate them with your actual energy. That's why I say to people, don't start playing around with crystals until you've purified yourself and purified the crystal first, because it's just like a etiquette to spirituality, that you need to purify yourself before you move into working with these stuff, because you're pretty much an adept. Whereas religion and things of this nature, you're given the blueprint, how to lead, how to move, how to direct. But once you move into stuff like this, sovereignty, you have to learn the fundamentals, then gain experience and skill and be confident to work with all these elements I'm speaking about, you see? But ultimately, I've been studying all this thing for a while. And my background was, I used to be a cadet for the sea, like a Navy cadet. So I've been very one with nature from time. I used to go camping a lot. I'm a water sign. I'm a Pisces. So it's no surprise that I would be so connected with water. I moved to a country, I moved to an island, This is all embedded within my natal chart. I'm a rising Scorpio. I'm a rising, not Scorpio, rising Capricorn. So it's no surprise that I had to go to Navy school to learn discipline as a child. Aries, moon. So that's fire. So fire, water, earth in the most important aspects of my natal chart. So, if people want to get a natal chart from me, I can explain these elements and modalities to you so that you can learn what you need to work with. Me, predominantly my chart is mainly water, then earth. So yeah, there's a plane coming. This is mad. It's gonna be mad loud. But yeah, I think I've given enough information for now. And we're gonna get back to the studio soon and we're gonna really get into this. All right, peace.